with where she's at with the Reiki,
Oh yeah, that's where.
on that master level, like I will be the first to tell you, I have no clue where you're at.
So
For real.
Can you see
you.
auras?
I get the premise of it, but yeah.
So,
Can you see auras?
I actually have seen an aura before, and
That's
it was
awesome.
actually the instructor's aura. And
Was it positive?
It caught me completely off guard. I mean, I wasn't expecting it. I almost thought I was like losing my like. Is this for real?
Oh wow.
I almost
Really?
thought I was losing my mind.
You
for
were
a little
tapped
bit.
in.
Yeah.
So
What color was it?
yeah,
It was actually yellow. It was a nice, glowy, soft yellow.
Is that supposed
wow.
to like symbolize like friendship, or like what is that supposed to
So I
symbolize?
ended up looking it up, and what it symbolized was actually everything. She was like a teacher, someone who's meant to guide others. So she's just a beautiful person in general. So
Just like a figurehead, like a calm leader.
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
So I guess in your best way to do it, if you can describe. So was it like just light emanating from all directions, or was it just like in a small profile around them? Like what
Yeah,
did you
so
experience?
She was sitting in front of the classroom, in front of everybody, like crisscross there on the floor, and I was sitting over here with the rest of the students, and I just happened to look up, and all of a sudden, it's not like it just popped up, but just I noticed it all of a sudden, and it was just like I would say 6 to 8 inches around her.
Nice.
Very soft, glowy white light, and it would kind of like move with her as she moved. So
Nice.
it like swayed gently.
So when you saw that, did it happen to kind of like change on how like you interacted with her, because you've already had this opinion of this lady, and then you saw this, which really solidified this? Did that happen to change on how you interact with her and like maybe make a friendship or the bond that you guys had better?
It actually, this is crazy to say, but it almost, I took it as a sign, as this is someone that I need to be very respectful of, very in
Okay,
awe
That's
of.
what's up.
And so at that point, I just knew that, she's basically like a gift to the world, because she's sharing this wisdom that comes from the divine clearly. I mean, I've never seen an aura my whole life, and then all of a sudden I see an aura. So it just felt like it felt like a sign from the divine, honestly, more than anything. And still to this day, like I'm very connected to her. She's just a beautiful, beautiful human being, soul, just so selfless and just amazing. So I was honored to be able to see her aura, because I had never experienced anything like that, and it just made me feel like I was definitely at the right place at the right time, like I needed to be there.
So just for the listeners that are out there, if you're open to sharing it, if you instruct any of classes or educate people on Reiki, where would these people go to find your material or to be a part of a class to participate in this?
Yeah, so I personally don't. When I went into the Reiki journey, it was a something that I went into for myself, is what I felt like.
Okay, self-improvement. I
Right,
gotcha.
self-improvement. Like I felt like this is part of my healing journey. Again, I was on that awakening path, and this was part of it. Like I had been drawn to it and called to it, so I did this mainly for myself. And so where I went to take these courses is Bella Prana Yoga, and it's in downtown area, Bella Prana Yoga. But really, there are so many, just books and even other places that offer Reiki training and just Reiki healing in general. Not if you're not interested in becoming a Reiki healer yourself, you can go and receive Reiki.
And when you say downtown, just to put it in context, you're referring to downtown Tampa?
Yeah, but yes,
Okay.
exactly,
All right.
exactly. So, but even if you pick up a book on Reiki and kind of just read it yourself, I know that this is something that we all have the capability of doing. We all have the capability. We've been talking about it the whole time of, transmuting energy. And what Reiki is just tuning into the healing energy of the universe and being able to provide it to others.
Okay.
So we are all capable of performing, doing Reiki on others. It's just tapping into that and being in tune with the divine.
That explains why you're probably so good at your current role that you're in now, with all that interaction with people,
I feel like it's all intertwined. Like our gifts, who we are, what we're called to, what we're drawn to, all of those things. They're not an accident. It's not by mistake. All of these things are like little clues throughout your life. You got to pay attention. Okay, this is who you are, but pay attention to this. There's a reason you like this. There's a reason you're into this.
Yeah.
All of those things together are like clues to who we are, our purpose, and we just got to pay attention.
Yeah, Rebel, so we just met right before the show, and I could tell you, you just have a very calming presence. I feel
Thanks.
very welcomed speaking to you, which is a beautiful thing because most people don't feel that.
Awesome. I love that. And honestly, I love being around people. I love meeting new people, talking to people, and just, I love just knowing what makes people tick also. It's very interesting to me to get to know someone and what's going on in their mind and what makes you unique. And all of those things are so dope to me. So being able to project openness is, I guess, important to me so that I can be able to speak to people freely and people feel comfortable within my presence as well. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, you're welcome.
That's awesome, man.
So, I going back to a few conversations ago back, you kept using the word, and maybe this is just something that I've never just heard of because I haven't been around the community of creative people before.
Okay.
Keep using the term creative, when you're like, oh yeah, and then David was telling me about a conversation he had, or no, actually it was the last podcast. The previous guest kept using the word I would like to find a creative. I'm like, where have I been? I've never heard of this term creative. I'm a creative. Oh, okay. Well, I'm John. Hi. What? What is this term, man? That's just very interesting to me.
I think we're all creatives, but you just got to tap into it. We all have something, that we, we can create, if we tap into it, honestly, when John came out to haiku, how did that saying go? Haiku.
Oh yeah.
I forget how it goes, but it was fun. It's fun. There's this saying that Dennis Amadeus, is that how you say his name?
Yeah, and that reminds me. Quick shout out to Grow. I'm also part of a poetry collective called Grow House Tampa, they do amazing poetry events throughout the community, and they're awesome. So shout out to Grow House Tampa. But Dennis, yeah, he's
a very talented poet out of Tampa. Actually, Chris, one night we were at a Crowbar. He met Dennis.
Okay.
He didn't get to hear him say any poetry or anything like that.
He didn't get the haiku chop either.
He didn't get the haiku chop. But what I
probably
was
left
speaking
out,
on
man.
was John did a haiku at the what's the
haiku?
haiku is the name of it, right? Of the restaurant, right?
I did a
Yeah.
haiku at haiku.
Yeah.
Haiku at haiku for haikus and art. You sure did.
But it was really good. I don't know
Way
if
to
do
tie
you,
it
do you
in, John.
remember it? It was it was
So, ironically, we were talking about creatives. I feel that I'm not the most creative person. So, I'll give you an example of what my creativity is. Back in the when I used to draw, I can't think of something and draw something and it be awesome. Now, you give me a picture back in the day, I can copy that. That's my creativity. I can recreate or reproduce something.
That's a talent all in its own. I can't do that.
mhm.
But so I go to haiku, and they hand me the paper, and they're like, "You want to do it?" I'm like, "Well, no, but give me the paper.
No.
I'll just sit here and I'll watch people."
Yeah, thanks, but no thanks.
And a few drinks are flowing. It got the creative juices going. So I wrote a haiku. I used my creativity to write a haiku about how non-creative I am.
This is really interesting.
Yeah, it was, and I'm probably gonna get some of the syllables because it's 575. But it was the first line was non-creative, inner voice, worst enemy, trying to break free.
That's very good.
Powerful. I was like, yo, straight up, when he went up there and he said that, I was like, damn, that was really good.
Yeah.
And his transparency about what he, I don't know, man. It just blew my mind.
Well, that goes back to what Rebel was saying earlier. Be authentic.
That's
yeah,
it.
and that's what he was.
That's
He was-
beautiful in
That's
itself.
It's a
Yeah.
great example right there.
Yeah,
Pretty much what
seriously.
I
That's all it takes.
John, you just put your signature on Tampa.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yes.
I'm the
One
most
haiku at a time.
non-creative poet
Yeah.
out there. Maybe that should be my name.
Hey, everybody has their shtick, so you got yours.
Non-creative. Just call me that.
I think John can do anything he puts his mind to, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
know,
he
like,
shorts himself a
he's-
little too much.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. He's getting better at not shorting himself lately, man. I've been seeing him like, just man, he's really growing lately, man.
It's good.
And what was the? We were looking up the other day our names,
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to find what John meant in Hebrew.
Well, the meaning of my name is way better than the person, right? It's like,
Oh, it says,
it's like meeting a legend, right? It's like a legend's better than the person.
John Legend or? Sorry, it's just a terrible joke.
The name John is derived from in Hebrew, meaning graced by God. It is a solid traditional name that exudes strength, smarts, and kindness.
Wow.
So, and like John is all of those things.
No
Yeah,
pressure,
yeah, for
John.
real, he
It's
is.
like, bro, like, man, I mean, that name really, it's so insane how like when our parents name us,
Yeah.
they really speak our life into existence, really, with our name. And like, so now, like, when I was growing up, I didn't realize how powerful the name David was. It's like the most spoke about name in the Bible.
Yeah, it is.
And he's in David means beloved, like dearly loved. And man, like and Chris, I think I sent you yours as well. Like we were looking at all these.
Oh man, you didn't send me mine.
I sent you yours too, Tom.
I didn't get it.
believe it says, "Oh, Tom is innocence,
Small.
simplicity, naivety. How do you say that? Naivety,
Naivete.
naivety, or
Like that.
yeah, that's what I got."
All
But you're like,
Chris,
dude, what?
you're-
We can
you're a-
stop there,
you're a
that's
Yeah,
good-
cool.
there's more to me than
you're a
that,
good
man.
linguist.
Like,
How do you pronounce the is it naivete?
Yeah,
I feel dumb
yeah,
saying
I think you got it, John. Something like that.
Naivete. Like I feel like that's extra for no reason.
You
That-
might have
it's
thrown
like
in.
Trip
You
out.
might have thrown in an extra syllable there. I think.
Am I throwing
I
it?
think so.
See, that's
Tay,
that's,
tay, 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 tay.
that's
the name Christopher is frequently translated as Christ bearer.
What?
Yep.
You're bearing a lot of weight for us, my
Yeah, I
friend.
Yeah,
guess
man.
so.
So yeah, you are a bearer of the anointed one.
Ooh.
And it's naivete.
So your
Pressure
parents
there
like
either.
really went strong on your name as well, man. Definitely, man. What's your middle name, Tom?
Glenn.
Glenn?
Glen.
Huh. I'm not sure about that one.
It's all right. There might not be a definition for that one either.
There might be though. Oh man, that's funny, dude. But no, Tom is like very talented, man. We speak about that all the time, and like I think I finally have landed. Like I was thinking about this the other day, man. Like everything that we need, we already have. It's just opening up that perspective.
Yeah, and embracing it.
Like it could be right in front of you, but you could be blind and you could be missing all the blessings.
That goes back into earlier talking about get caught up in that rat race.
That rat race, exactly. And it's like what you're focused on, you will receive. And like for years, I was focused on making money. So I was plugged into like no matter what, I got to get this overtime. I got to pay off this house. I got to, and then you miss everything that's going on around you to some degree. And like, but when you plug in and you let go and like we were talking about like trust.
Right.
And walk in purpose and walk out of love, like you start seeing things differently, man. I mean, and like honestly, us doing this right now has a lot to do with us all, walking in love. Like I mean, John, kind of brought all this. In a way, he's brought this like with his love, the like what we just talked about, his name meaning, his kindness, his strength. Like I mean, he's kind of bonded all of us together, really. I mean,
we
like,
got the
'cause I wouldn't know you
anointed
guys
one over
without
here
John.
producing it.
What's that?
I said we got the anointed one over
The
here.
anointed one, man. I'm telling
Yeah.
you, man. And, yo, it's so crazy too because I saw Chris earlier this week, man. He was quoting scripture, like he posted a reel, and I'm like,
Oh,
yeah, I
look
saw
at
that.
God, look at God going in on Chris over
trying
there.
to be better. That's the whole point of this, right?
Yeah.
So
That is, yeah.
Yo, it's awesome, man. It's awesome to see, man, because we need faith. We need trust. We need love, and like he's gonna be passing that on to his son.
Yeah.
I mean, and like we're gonna all be growing this tribe together, man. And I think you guys are such solid, incredible men. And it's like, yo, I just want to like when you got something good, you got to nurture it. So like what a lot of times what people do wrong is they have something good right in front of them, and then they're still trying to work on like
Or they
something
take advantage
like they're
of
trying
that
to like
good.
help, but it's because they're trying to help somebody else that's not really plugged in good for them or good for their tribe.
Right.
And it's like, yo, like, focus on your tribe, like focus on how we can grow and how we can help each other. Like, pay attention to people's thoughts. Like when John speaks or you speak, I try to think about like that's how we ended up playing tennis.
Yep.
You had paid attention to like, man, I was like, man, I really want to get into playing tennis again. And then you captured that thought, and then you started inviting me to play tennis. And then now we love playing tennis together. And
What's the win-loss record, by the way?
I mean, it's getting we're getting pretty close.
That was that last match was really intense. Like, I mean, I was leading, and then he came back.
We played the first to 7, and it was 6-7.
Tom, have you won a match
It was
yet?
so intense. Like,
Tom, you got any wins?
No, I lost. I'll be a man to admit.
no,
that
but
I
it
lost.
came, bro, it came down to the wire.
Oh, I know it did.
It came down to the wire,
Yeah.
and like, and
I
I
was
think
thirsty. I was thirsty. Okay.
something we agreed on. I was like, yo, I'm not gonna go for like just trying to win. I'm gonna hit the ball to get better. So like when I hit the ball now, like I try to hit every ball with power.
Yeah.
Before I was kind of like putting a little finesse on it. If I felt like, I needed to like lay up my next serve, but now like I'm trying to like hit,
Hammer
and I
down.
feel like I feel like that's helping us get better though.
Yeah.
It's like pushing each other, man.
It's like watching Pete Sampras and Andre Agassi over here too. Just greats.
Seriously.
We're gonna get you guys
we
out
just
there.
have longer shorts on.
Yo, I'm telling you, we're gonna get you guys out there, bro. Like, and then me and John, like so from us doing this, like we're all like me and John now we work out together. Like we started going to Powerhouse Gym.
Yep.
Off of Hillsboro. Like luckily like LA Fitness, man, they hit me with a you can't come to the signature one, but you can go to all the other ones. I guess the type of pass that I had. So I just kind of like thought about it for a week before I signed up again, and I was like, you know what? I should just be going to the gym with John. Like it's right around the corner. He's been telling me about
That
it.
goes back into with what you're saying, nurturing your tribe.
Yeah. Plugging
Sticking
in.
within.
Plugging in. Like what, and like sometimes like you got everything you need in your house, but you're like chasing all this other stuff. And it's like everything you need is right here. And I'm pretty sure that happens with like marriages and stuff like that. It's like, yo, plug into each other, man. You got it all right there. You got the kids, you got your family right there. Plug into that,
I heard a real good saying about that. People when it comes to relationships, and someone when times get tough, you kind of run off to, or someone does.
Try to take the easy road.
Yeah, and find something better because it's going to be inherently better than what you have. Well, the saying was, you always hear the grass is greener on the other side. No, the grass is greener where you water it. So if you're watering the neighbor's
Come on now.
yard more than your yard, the grass is going to be greener at your neighbor's house than at your house.
I did not be watering my neighbor's yard.
But you also don't want to be plugged into the wrong you got to recognize if you're plugged into the wrong person or people as well, because you could be spinning your wheels.
Yeah, you can't be
wasting
watering
your
rocks.
time.
That's just never going to grow.
Probably out of all people that's in this room, Miss Rebel over here, she probably can see that more than most other people, given kind of what she's been through in her journey with Reiki and everything.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah, I think relationships are tough in general, whether it's a romantic relationship, friendship, but specifically romantic relationships, they can be tough. And yes, it is important to water your grass versus your neighbor's grass, but you also have to be able to recognize when sometimes things have run their course, and
100%.
When things are no longer serving the purpose for either one of you. So I think that it's very important to focus on growth, not only for the relationship, but for yourself when you're in a relationship. And unfortunately, sometimes when that happens, people tend to either grow apart or grow together.
So, with that, I have mentioned this on a previous podcast in which you pretty much said exactly what I said in the past. With the aspect of certain relationships, whether they be friendships or, an actual relationship that you have a significant other with, sometimes they do run their course.
Yeah.
But if you look at it from the aspect of, yes, they ran their course and now we're going our own way, but you having the outlook of both of you guys will be better off. It may not be right away, but down the road, it's so beautiful to kind of look at it from that
is
aspect.
100% beautiful. That shows that you've grown, period. Because if you can look at something and say, this was beautiful while it lasted, it taught me so much, it helped me grow in such beautiful ways, we grew together in such beautiful ways. But you know what? I think that this is it. Like, this is where it ends together. Doesn't necessarily mean that we have to hate each other or not speak to each other. We can continue to grow and always be in each other's lives, specifically, say, a marriage, a couple, that's separating for marriage or whatever. We can still be in each other's lives for our kids, whatever the case may be, but it doesn't have to be us together. Because in the end, I think that if you're not being authentic, if you're staying in something just because this is what you're supposed to do, this is what you're expected to do, this is how the others in our family or in the past have done it, you stick it through because it's marriage, then you're being inauthentic and you're causing more harm than good at that point.
Yeah.
So it's not anything
Selfish motives /
Exactly.
greed. Yeah.
Exactly. So you have to be able to recognize when things, whether it be a job, whether it be a friendship, whether it be a relationship, when they've run their course and it's time to just move on. Because if you don't, you're hindering yourself from more growth, I feel like.
And then once you recognize it, you have to communicate, and you both have to come to a neutral agreement,
Absolutely.
right? And be like, how do we handle this now moving forward?
Right.
Because now we're not going to be moving as a, as a couple, but we're still going to be a part of each other. Well, if you have children or something like that, you're still going to be a part of each other's life. And like you said, I think something you pointed out that's very important. Back then, well, I don't know if everybody did it this way, but back then, when you split, it was almost like you had to hate, like people would hate each other. Like
Right.
you don't have to hate each other. You can still move out of love.
Exactly.
And you can say, hey, I love, I want the best for you. I want you to meet someone that you fall in love with, and I want you to have love.
Yeah, and I want you to continue to grow and be your best self.
Continue to grow and be your
It doesn't
best.
necessarily have to be by my side, but
Yes.
and vice versa. I want to continue to grow and be my best self.
Yes.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be by your
We should
side.
never stop growing.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, if you loved someone so much, if they were such an important part of your life, to me, it doesn't make sense to hate them. Like I just feel like that's so crazy to me. Like, how
It's
do you
just kind of
hate
immature,
someone?
really.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It
How
is.
do you
You're
hate
right.
someone that you loved so much? On the contrary, you should still love them and still be, separate lives with love. You don't have to hate someone. So I agree. That's if that's an old type of mentality, then
Let's move on from it. Yeah.
It's just
let's
a different
start
type
going
of love at that point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to change it. You have to change your perspective.
Love is beautiful. So
It is.
in all phases.
And there's just different ways to love.
Exactly.
Now you're not loving in an intimate way,
Right.
but you still love and you care about them. You can still give them whole love.
100%.
But, I think the tough part is like trying to,
The ego.
oh, there it is.
away.
There it
That's a
is.
big struggle
There
for
it
men.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ego
Women too,
is,
yeah.
mm.
The ego is just one of those things that will.
Women have it too. Women have the ego as well.
Absolutely, 100%. Women do too.
Yep.
We struggle with ego. We, as human beings in general, struggle
Yes.
with ego because it's an innate part of who we are.
Mm.
It's in us,
Yep.
It's it's almost like I think it's part of like just survival of the fittest. Like, oh, I'm gonna be better, I'm gonna be stronger, I'm this and that, So
Gotta check that ego.
yeah, check that ego.
Yep.
But
And when you start feeling like, too high on yourself, you better get rid of that, get it off of you.
Exactly.
That's why I think God is great. That's when you say like, thank you, God.
Mhm.
Thank you. Get that off me real quick. Thank you, God. But when I start feeling like, oh, I'm doing all these great things, thank you, God, for what you've done for me. I
So-
appreciate you.
So, Rebel, with that, though, from a woman's point of view, having ego, not that I'm implying that you do, but like
Well, I
when
think
you
we all can hit it. We're all gonna have an ego at
right. But when you identify, like, you're kind of putting those vibes, if you will, out there, right? What do you do to correct that behavior?
I think recognizing that it's your ego is the hardest part of it all.
Mm.
Because we're so
Wired to do certain
Yes.
things certain ways.
so-
Yeah, I get that.
it's almost like an instinct. That ego is almost like an instinct. It'll just automatically kick in. But I think the first and most important part of it is recognizing when it's ego. when you're able to recognize and discern, this isn't coming from a place of love, this is coming from a place of ego.
Wow.
That makes a huge difference. You start to check yourself more and be like, okay, I don't need to say that. I don't need to do this. I don't need to act this way. I don't need to do those things. It's mainly about recognizing it, because me personally, I'm speaking of myself personally, for so long I did struggle with not recognizing when it was ego. I struggled with having a bad temper, if I'm being completely transparent.
No, hey, you and I are in the same camp.
It's one of those things, and that comes from ego. That comes from, well, I'm going to win this argument no matter what. I'm right, you're wrong.
But so when you walked away, sorry, John, and I'll stop right after this. But when you walked away from this argument, right? Did you feel fulfilled afterwards?
Tom's taking over.
Exactly.
Nah, just playing.
Exactly. It's like, what was the point of that? What did we gain from this? Absolutely nothing, but making ourselves more angry, more hostile towards each other. There was nothing came out of this positive, so that's all ego right there. 100%.
You need an ego death.
Yes.
Oh, and by the way, Glenn is living in the valley.
So what? Wait, time
It
out.
means living in the valley.
So what was Tom or Thomas? What did that?
So I'm a naive hillbilly. That's what I got out
Living
of
in
that.
the valley. He's in between. He's in a transitional phase in between two mountaintops.
Were your parents hippies?
He's in the valley.
Oh gosh, no.
No?
If you could have met my parents, you would have had a different
Complete
opinion.
opposite. Interesting. That's very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah. John, I'm sorry. What were you gonna say earlier?
No, the time passed because it was one of those one-liners I was going to
Oh man.
man.
Oh man, come on, man, Tom.
Seriously, that's my bad. I apologize to everyone for that.
It's okay, man.
Next time,
we love you.
Just yell it out. Just
yell it out.
Just yell it
I
out.
just shout it out.
Be like, hey, hillbilly.
It was like a little little side story of when Tom was like, "Yeah, we all have our ego. We just can't let certain things go." And I was like, "Yeah, like there's times when Tom should just not race me, and he loses."
Here we go.
Oh,
Here we go.
Oh, yo, do we need to set up another race?
I mean,
Yo, John's been talking really crazy lately. I'm gonna be honest with you,
he's
bro.
always talking crazy.
But he's
though.
he wants to run a 4.3. Oh, actually, no, you moved it. You moved it to a 4.8. He wants to run a 4.8. He was going for a 4.3.
Then I was
like, John, and I don't.
That's like Tyreek Hill.
I don't ever want to shoot anybody's dreams down. So I was just like, bro, you can do that, but it's gonna take a lot of hard work, man. And I don't even know if it's worth it.
So I was like, yeah,
what is that gonna, what is that gonna do for you?
So I bumped it up to a 4.7.
No, you said 4.8.
4.8.
Oh, 4.7?
I'll take a 4.7.
Okay, we'll go for a 4.7, and I believe he can run a 4.7 if we train hard.
So
That's what we're doing.
All this stems from when I was a kid. I never
Ego.
ego.
We're talking about ego, right?
That's it. That's it right there.
So I'm still working on myself, but if I'm being honest, I still have things I want to do, even though I'm 37.
Yo, but if you accomplish these things at 37, man, that'd be really powerful, dude. Like you're running a 4.3, you're hitting home runs out the park, like in a major league baseball field. Like he wants to hit a major league home run.
Okay.
Well,
Which is
Center wall?
What is that? 300 feet?
Anywhere that you can get a home run, I would think, right?
I'd take it all.
I'd take anything.
I think it's anything over 200 feet because I think 200 feet is like the shortest distance in a major league field. But it all stems from when I was a kid. I never got to play sports except for sandlot type stuff, like with this guy and 3 other friends. We would.
Yeah,
play.
we grew up together. Like since he was like I was like 9 years old. He was like 10 or 11.
Yeah.
We met each other and like we had like this little unit. Sorry, go ahead, John.
Yeah, so we literally would play basketball. We didn't have a rim, but we had an apartment complex sign.
A pelican.
And a sign.
We'd hit it
at
off
the top of the
pelican.
sign had this little square pelican. So how we played basketball was you had to shoot and you had to hit the pelican's
And we'd
face.
use the mini basketball.
Yeah.
We'd use that mini basketball.
And this
like,
is in the middle of the street, right?
where cars are coming in like nonstop.
So,
Game on, game off.
yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
all this stems from me like having these unfulfilled athletic desires that I never got to try, at least attempt as a kid. So now here in my adult life, making adult money, I'm like, I can do this. I'll get.
I can hire a trainer.
Yeah, I can do all this. Yeah, no, I found that out. Trainers are real expensive.
Yo, we could track like John's journey though, and we could be like really supportive and like get you running that 4.8 or 4.7, and also get you hitting that home run. And we totally can support you, bro. There were some other things though that you wanted to accomplish. It wasn't just the home run and
So here it goes real quick.
All right, here we go.
So I can have accountability partners being you guys and
Yes.
the rest of the internet. I want to be able to run a 4.7. I want to hit a home run. I want to at least be able to dunk. Weightlift.
At least. I love it.
Maybe not Vince Carter it, arm through the rim. Weight-wise, I want to be a part of the 1,000-pound club, which if no one knows what that is, that's you take the 3 big lifts, bench press, deadlift, and bench press, deadlift,
And squat.
squat. Thank you.
I think we can do that.
You combine those 3 numbers, and it should reach 1,000. So
We're on the right track, dude. We're training like every day. So I'm just gonna have to bump it up a little bit if you want to do all these things.
right,
It's gonna get a little more intense, bro.
So, was there anything else to this?
home run,
Good question, Tom.
home
Yeah.
run, speed, strength, jumps. No, that should be about it. And then
All right.
hopefully by a byproduct of this, I look good naked. That's like the last thing.
Oh yeah.
That's definitely gonna happen. Like if you're
There's
doing, if
that
you're,
ego.
yo, if you're doing,
Show up in that speedo, baby.
bro, if you're dunking, if you're running a
There's that
4.7, if you're able to hit a major league home run and you're in the 1,000-pound club, like you're naturally gonna look like a god.
I'm unsure. Well, that's the thing. I mean, I'm looking in the mirror now when I'm with my shirt off. I'm like, I got a long road ahead of me. But
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I was like the other day, man. I was like out in the living room with him, just hanging out, man. He had like some like short shorts on or something. Like I was like, dude, John's getting ripped.
Where is this?
Joe always wears the booty
Where is
shorts.
it? Well, not booty shorts, man. See, my bad, man. That's not what I was trying to do there.
they're called soccer
I'm saying, but,
shorts.
like, I could see his legs, and I was like, dude, your legs are getting bigger,
His
man.
peach was popping.
Hey,
Careful
I
with the
ain't-
words.
Dude, you know.
It ain't ready to be picked yet. It's
Either
still
way,
growing.
they're chiming in here. I was trying to be supportive with
No,
my comment, man.
I totally understand where you're
I'm trying
coming
to show
from.
you
It's
love,
all right.
bro. Yo, so I got a funny story, man.
Okay.
So this week, this is really funny. So this week, I got out of the house early. I went to go get in the truck, and I turn it on, and like I'm hearing this like noise, and I'm like, what is it? Because I'm deaf in my left ear,
Right.
and I have my headphone in the other one. And I'm like, just chilling, whatever, and I'm like, I keep hearing this noise. I'm like, it's weird, man, And then I look over, and like John's on the passenger side, like he's like, yo, he's waving his arms like back and forth like this, and I'm like, the heck, So like I roll the window down, and he's like, bro, you're like spinning out.
He's burning out in my grass
Bro,
yard,
I was
digging a
shooting
trench.
I was shooting dirt all over the house, like it is just digging like a deep like a
Wow, like a
and
rut.
Right.
he's like, turn the car off. So I turn it off, and I get out. He's like, bro, what are you doing? And I was like, bro, I don't know. Like, I was like, I heard something, but I didn't know what it was,
Get your foot off the
Yeah,
gas
yeah,
pedal.
yeah. And he's like, and before he had came out, like I had tried to put it in drive, and it like took off on me. I was like, whoa, what's
That's
going
when
on?
it dug into the. Thank God it
And
didn't, because it dug
And
into.
I would have
the
went
grass.
through the neighbor's house in front of me.
Oh, for real.
Yo, but I stopped, and I was like, I put it in park, and I was like, what's going on? So like, in this, like, I forget what it said. Like, it came up in the dash, but it was saying something about what was the word that it said? It was
It had to do with his throttle. It was saying there
something-
was a throttle.
check your throttle, like in
Yeah.
a
The throttle body.
something. Yeah, it says your throttle needs to be checked or something like that. And I was like, oh boy. So like.
So
So
when
I got like worked up. I was like, oh man, this sucks. I was supposed to go get my beard cut and all that. I was like, man, I'm not gonna be able to go do that now. So I'm gonna have to go so I called up Amica, my insurance company, and like I called for my roadside assistance, and they were sending a tow truck. Then I called up Dodge. I called up what's the where did I buy the car?
Oh,
It was,
the dealership.
Yeah, but what's that dealership on Florida? Avis.
Okay.
Because I have like a warranty with them, and I called them up. So I'm getting everybody ready. I'm getting everything aligned, right? So like, Avis is like, yeah, man, just, as soon as, Dodge tells you what you owe, just, have them fax that over to us. I'm like, all right, cool. Because, I had, warranty and all that. I'm like, all right, awesome, man. And then I said, man, you know what? Let me see if it's something I can figure out on my own. So I went on YouTube.
So stop right there, David. So basically what was going on, as soon as he would start the car, it revved. The RPMs would shoot into, he was redlining. So as soon as he started the car, it was,
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm just like,
okay, so that's what was going on. And then when he put it in drive, that's what spat dirt all over my house and on me almost. Cut. Now he's looking on YouTube. Go.
So now I'm on YouTube for about 20 seconds. I looked it up, you know, and it's like, yeah, common problem with Dodge Rebels.
Shout out to Rebel.
Yeah, shout out to Rebel.
Shout out to Dodge.
Shout out.
Shout out
all
to
kind of shout outs here. But it says like check the floor mat.
Oh my god.
So the floor mat had flipped over the accelerator pedal.
Holy
And it, like, so I guess these mats are so heavy that it was pushing on the accelerator, and I didn't even realize it. So like I moved it and put it under, and I was like, oh,
Look at
that's it. I was like, man, you know, like I felt like such an idiot.
Holy
Bro, you-
shit, dude.
I think that you're probably gonna need to change out to those weather techs, and you won't have
Yeah, you're gonna have to get
Yo,
soft.
but I just thought it was funny because like John was just like losing his mind, man. He's like, bro, what are you doing,
Because
bro?
I hear I'm in the car. I'm
just
in the house,
revving.
and I hear, "Wah!" and I'm like, what the
And I couldn't hear it, like, because I'm deaf, you
ET's
know?
just chilling.
Yeah, I'm just chilling in the car, like, just like, I look over.
I open the door and I hear this, and then right about the time is when he put it in drive, and then I just see the back tires just digging into the lawn and just spraying mud. I was like this close from getting hit with mud, and you just see the, you know, when you start to dig a rut with your back tires, you just see the back end just start to go down, and I'm like, he dropped
I was
about
getting
a
deep.
foot.
I was getting deep in the front yard there, you know? But there's been all kind, like, it's really been a real adventure, like, living with John, man. Like, it's
Shut-
fun.
Shout out to Home and Gardens. I have the best front yard now ever.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. You can catch all of our episodes on YouTube and Spotify at Better Gents Podcast, and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at Better Gents Pod. Thank you and take care.